Thank you for the opportunity to make a statement on the incident of lawlessness at Ablekuma North Parliamentary Rerun election. Mr. Speaker, the violent incident that occurred and marred the parliamentary rerun election in Ablekuma North requires condemnation. Mr. Speaker, this House, and indeed the nation, must take very seriously the coordinated act of violence, intimidation, and lawlessness that occurred on the 11th of July 2025. These events present one of the most dangerous assaults on our democratic order since the return to constitutional rule in 1992. Mr. Speaker, this was not merely an electoral misconduct. What happened in Ablekuma North was a calculated military-style operation targeted at disrupting our electoral process and intimidating political opponents. If left unchecked, it risked normalizing political violence in our democratic culture. Mr. Speaker, permit me to highlight some of the deeply disturbing incidents. First, at St. Peter's Society Methodist Church polling station, a group of thugs stormed the premises on motorbikes and in vehicles. Honorable Hawa Kumsin, a former member of parliament, was physically assaulted in broad daylight. Our parliamentary candidate, Nana Ekuo Friye, sustained some injuries to her face. Former MP, Dakwa Newman, and several other NPP party agents were also attacked. Electoral officials fled. Voters were terrorized. At Awoshi DVLA polling station, individuals dressed in brown uniform impersonated security personnel to gain access and misled voters until they were confronted and they failed in that instance to provide any form of identification. Elsewhere, including Asiedu Jedu Memorial School, confrontation between thugs and police officers created chaos and endangered lives. Even journalists were not spared, Mr. Speaker. A Joy News reporter and GH1 TV's Ajekum Banahine were attacked. In fact, a police officer assaulted the latter while on duty. Mr. Speaker, this is a direct attack on press freedom and the right of citizens to be informed. These were not isolated events. This was a deliberate orchestration of violence across multiple polling stations. And what is even more troubling, Mr. Speaker, is that some officials have not only failed to condemn these acts, but have celebrated them openly and publicly. Mr. Speaker, for those public officers who have endorsed this political violence, I say that it's a breach of public trust and a dangerous precedent that undermines Ghana's democratic foundation. Equally disturbing are the growing concerns about the negligence of the Ghana Police Service. Allegations have surfaced implicating Chief Superintendent Lumo Frederick Senanu in facilitating this act. Whether by omission or commission, the police service failed to protect lives and the sanctity of the electoral process in Ablekuma North. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's democracy is at crossroads. We must not allow this descent into lawlessness to define our politics. That is why the minority caucus demands the following. 1, a full-scale investigation into the matter, a full-scale prosecution of individuals that will be identified as perpetrators of the violence, a clear and unambiguous condemnation of the violence from government, including apologies to those who were particularly victimized. Chris Lloyd Ni Kwe, the Deputy National Organizer, Hawa Kumsin, and our candidate Nana Ekuefrie. Mr. Speaker, we must not allow political violence to become normalized. Ghana's democracy must not be turned into a battlefield. The time to act is now. To the people of Ablekuma North, do not be cowed into silence. The right to vote is sacred and must never be trampled by fear or force. To civil society and all defenders of democracy, your voices are needed now than ever. The minority caucus, Mr. Speaker, will continue to use every constitutional means available to it to protect Ghana's democratic order and ensure that no political actor ever weaponizes violence for electoral advantage again. Mr. Speaker, our country, Ghana, stands at a crossroads. Government must choose: uphold democratic values or shelter those who undermine them. The choice government makes in the coming days will define this government's legacy and the direction of our democracy. May God bless Ghana and strengthen our republic. And Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Felix Kwakye Ofosu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the unfortunate reap the whirlwind. Little did I know that that title was actually a famous biblical verse, which says that you have sowed the wind and you shall reap the whirlwind. Mr. Speaker, let me place it on record.
Go to Josiah.
Let me place it on record. I was a student at KNUST. Yes. I was a student at KNUST. I was in fact a TEIN executive. But Mr. Speaker,
Ofosu, you are not supposed to answer anybody.
Well, it was
Honorable
just,
members,
it was just
let's
by the way.
listen to each
Mr.
other
Speaker,
in silence.
A critical test must be had on anything that members of the new patriotic party say in respect of this particular incident. And it is a test of sincerity. Mr. Speaker, if we carry out a cursory examination of the positions taken by our friends sitting on the other side on the many acts of impunity and raw terrorism which occurred between 2017 and 2024, very few or none of them would have been heard condemning those incidents. Mr. Speaker, no sooner had they come into power than they form groups with blood-curdling names, such as Invisible Forces, Delta Forces, and what have you. Mr. Speaker, we witnessed a situation where in 2019, during the Iowa West Ogun by-election, state-sponsored tax.
Yes, I recognize honorable minority.
Speaker, my colleague, I tried to listen to him carefully. Speaker, I'm relying on Order 93.5. I said 93.5. And then, Speaker, further relying on Order 123.2. Speaker, my colleague used expressions such as words, terrorism. He used the word terrorism. And Speaker, 93.5 is not supposed to provoke debate. Speaker, he could proceed with his submission But I implore you to impress upon him to withdraw the word terrorism, because it is totally unparliamentary, and this house should not be entertaining such unparliamentary words. And I invite you to let him withdraw that word used. It's totally unparliamentary and it's offensive to our rules.
Yes, Honourable Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I think that as a general practice, I have avoided trying to intimidate first-timers anytime they are speaking. I try very hard, even when they make mistakes and we have to point it out, I find a way of doing that. And I don't want us to encourage a practice of intimidating first-timers. The rules are clear, not to provoke debate. The mention of a word, terrorism, how does that provoke debate? Mr. Speaker, the issue of terrorism in electoral campaigning engaged this House to a point where we had to enact a legislation. We enacted a legislation on the matter. So when he's given a historical account, and simply refers to the word terrorism, how does that provoke debate? It doesn't provoke debate. So I urge you, Mr. Speaker, let the contributions continue.
Honourable Member, please continue.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is no doubt that what the thugs associated with the NPP did in Ayawaso West Wagon and in places like the Kumasi courts, where they barged in and freed their colleagues standing trial, amounted to terrorism. Mr. Speaker, terrorism is simply the use of violence to achieve political ends. Mr. Speaker, what is most worrying is that anytime those thugs got into trouble, it was officials of the New Patriotic Party who went to their aid. Shut up. Mr. Speaker, at the time, nobody on their side read a statement here that we should condemn those actions. Mr. Speaker, whereas I sympathize with what Honorable Hawakunsi went through, and there's no way I will condone that kind of conduct. She herself has been historically involved in acts that pass for violence during elections. Mr. Speaker, she admitted publicly to firing guns at polling stations during the 2020 limited registration exercise. Mr. Speaker, we know that there are members of the NDC who today have been maimed. Some have actually lost their lives out of violence that she is believed to have instigated. Mr. Speaker, when you do these things, you call violence upon yourself. So, Mr. Speaker, I agree in principle that firm action has to be taken to stamp out this specter of violence that has characterized almost every by-election in our country. But let not those who in the recent past were sponsoring these acts of terrorism against opponents suddenly pretend that they are against it. They are not, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in all the 8 years that they remained in power, what concrete action did they take in the many acts of violence that took place? Mr. Speaker, there is a Commission of Inquiries report which identifies individuals who are no members of their party and says they should be sanctioned for the wrongs that they did. Mr. Speaker, the Newz committee identified specific individuals for prosecution. No sooner had that report come out than their government issue a white paper insisting that those gentlemen engaged in those acts of terrorism because they were provoked. Mr. Speaker, a party that endorsed violence during elections cannot come today and call for investigations into acts of violence. It is those of us who condemned it in the past and are condemning it today who have the right to make such a call. So, Mr. Speaker, even in the wake of the events at Ablekumanov, their officials are on record to have vowed that there will be violence at Akwetia. Even as they call for action to be taken, they are threatening violence. Indeed, we all recall that it was in 2012 that then candidate Akufo-Addo openly praised the use of violence as a political tool when he said, Mr. Speaker, the same Nana Akufo-Addo is on record to have said, all die be die. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Kennedy Japan went on public radio. Honorable Kennedy Japan went on public radio and called on accounts to attack gas. Mr. Speaker, when he was prosecuted and released by a court, they carried him shoulder high and poured powder on him to celebrate those comments. People with this kind of record cannot possibly purport today to be opposed to terrorism and acts of violence. So, Mr. Speaker, let us have a discussion about sanitizing our politics. But let us eschew insincerity and duplicity in the discourse. Mr. Speaker, let us take firm action against those who threaten violence at elections. But let us not accept hypocrisy. Let us not accept the politics of convenience. That today it is
Honorable member, your time
so
is
all
up.
hell must break loose. Mr. Speaker, I am for strengthening the laws against electoral violence. Let the law take its full course.
Honorable,
no matter who
your
is
time
involved.
is up.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you for your statement. The floor is now open. Leadership, any indication as to the number?
Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the statement ably made by the minority leader. Mr. Speaker, in the first place, I wish to first of all condemn all forms of violence, no matter where and no matter what time. Mr. Speaker, it's most unfortunate that this is the first time that I have heard, and it's my fourth time in Parliament, that after the numerous electoral violence that has occurred in this country, this is a special one. Mr. Speaker, I would have stayed out mentioning my sister's name, Hawa Kumsi. But once her name is on the statement and it has been mentioned, I will do that. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Hawa Kumsi knows it very well that apart from the atrocities that have ever occurred in her own constituency, where lives were lost, she knows it very well that if she went to that election, that very election, and came out without any problem, it will all have been coming from her attitude. And yet, I was shocked when I learned that she used pepper spray. Pepper spray! And I saw it being sprayed. I saw her actually spraying it. Mr. Speaker, on the video, I looked at it more than 5-6 times, and I saw her actually spraying. I was shocked because I observed and listened to people talking and saying that, oh, that's a woman. that is a lady, we shouldn't do that, we shouldn't do this, we are not respecting women. Yes, we are all trying as much as I can to make sure that women are respected everywhere. But you, as a woman, you must first of all respect yourself. You must make sure that you know and live as someone who is ready to support and protect life as a woman. Because if you say because you are a woman, you go spraying pepper, were you going to select the women there so that the pepper doesn't get into their eyes? What about the children? Were you going to select them? What about the officers that we are now talking about? Were you going to select them? Because any pepper spray that is gushed out will not go to select anybody. And yet this is what happened. Unfortunately, it comes from no other person but a woman. Unfortunately. Mr. Speaker, are we saying that this is the first time that we have had such a problem? This is not the first time. I was a victim at Etiwa by election. I was a victim. I ran like it's no one's business back to Accra. So it's not the first time. I never heard a word being uttered. Mr. Speaker, Techiman South, what did we not see? What lives have we not lost? Lives, we lost lives. We lost life. What investigations have been done? What investigations? Who has been brought to book? What have we done to make sure that at least Ghanaians know that once we are running a democracy, we do not want such atrocities? What have we done? Nothing. Were those people not human beings? Were they not Ghanaians? Were they not voters? Don't they have the right to life? And yet we haven't heard anything up to date. Mr. Speaker, Ayawasu West Wagon. We witnessed even our own colleague, Honorable Sam George of all people. He was beaten. He received the worst slap that anybody could have thought of. And up till date, we haven't heard anything about it. Those whose legs were broken, today they have become vegetables of human beings. They are just there. They are just living and waiting for others to give them to feed. We haven't heard anything. No statement. Nobody has said anything. It looked like it was just some flies that fell somewhere. Mr. Speaker, we cannot forget about Ewutu Senya. We can't forget about what happened there. And the shooting was direct. Not that it was a go-come matter. All these are things that have happened in our presence, in our lives. If we want to condemn and if we want to be seen as doing the rightful thing and ensuring that our democracy thrives, we should make sure that it's not a selective thing. It shouldn't be selective. If we are being selective, it's not fair. Yes, I know, I agree that what happened yesterday and was wrong shouldn't be done today because two wrongs don't make a right. That is true. But it's not when you continue pinching my eye that you tell me that I shouldn't close it. Every day you do the same wrong to me, I keep quiet, and then you think that I should never say anything because you think that, no, you are right, or I shouldn't talk anything. That is not acceptable. It's unfortunate that it is a woman, and it's unfortunate that it has recurred, not from any other person, but someone who has ever done it somewhere. And so, let us be careful and conscious. And she is a former minister. Today we are calling for the heads of women who are ministers or women who are chief executives. Was she not a minister? And let me reiterate that she is not someone whom I would wish that I stand and talk against. But when something is wrong, like you have said, it is wrong. And it is not acceptable. It is wrong and it is not acceptable. Yes, I am saying it. Please, let us know. I am saying this because it has happened. It has happened before and happened to me. And that is the same thing that is happening. If we don't tell her or if we don't let her know that it is a kind of worry, it could repeat itself, and we don't want it to be repeated. So, Mr. Speaker, to wind up, let me say that what is good for the goose is good for the gander. So let us be conscious of ourselves.